Sec 487. I'm an avid OSINTer. Mostly I like digging into people's stuff and finding things that I shouldn't know about them, right? I mean, can I get a raise a hand who likes doing that? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being honest. You know, it was a risky gambit there. So I also have my own company, Spotlight InfoSec. I also like teaching. I love conveying information to people and helping other people learn. Other people's learn. People? Well, whatever. So I know that when you're at these conferences, you've got a lot of notes that you're taking and a lot of things going through your head. I want you to focus on me, on my little face. So what I've done is I have put on my website, which I'll show you in just a second, a long blog post of this entire talk, written out with all the links and stuff. But not only that, I've also, because you're my favorite audience this week, I have also gone ahead and made 6 individual videos that tell you each step that I'm going through in this thing. So really, there's nothing for you to do but sit here, listen to my bad jokes, and watch the stuff on screen. Now, in the world of the Matrix, yeah, I know it's trite to put Morpheus up there, but think about this, right? The Matrix world was a false world. If you just looked at what was presented to you, you got one dose of reality, one perspective on a synthetic reality. In OSINT, we have that same thing. And what my talk is today is how to break down that, how to take the, is it the blue pill that gets you out of the Matrix or the red pill? I think it's the red pill. Yeah, you take the red pill. I want you to take the red pill because if you've limited yourself to doing OSINT in a web browser, you're missing out a whole bunch of stuff. Not only that, I'm going to show you how to dig deeper within the web browser to pull extra kind of cool things out of some pages. All right? We're going to have some fun. Now, I'm taking a lot of risk here because I'm going to do this. I've got like 8 slides here, and then everything else is hands-on demo. I'm doing this live. Thanks to my colleague Mike Murr for loaning me the MiFi access point and all, so we can get on the real internet. Now, I warn you, since I'm going on the real internet and we're going to real social media sites, I can't control the videos and other things we see on the screen. So we'll pray to the demo gods that things are nice and safe. Now, what are the kinds of things that we might be missing if we are not looking deeper in our web browsers? And some of the things are here on the screen. If you've done any capture the flags, you know there's always a hidden flag in the source code of the HTML page. You right-click, view page source, and you get 5 points or whatever it is. Yeah, but there's so many other things that you can do with a web browser. I'm not going to be using any special tools for this talk. We're going to use the web browser, but we're really going to leverage the things that are built into your web browser and the access that you have to a bunch of different sites. One of the things that we do in web browsers is we look at web pages. When you visit www.google.com, the code comes back from Google, and it loads stuff in your browser, and then it renders it on the screen. Cool. We do this all the time. In fact, if you've been doing it for what's next on the agenda here at Layer 8, you've seen lots of web pages. What we're going to do is we're going to go into that source code to pull out certain interesting bits and pieces and see how we can use that within our OSINT investigations. I think we're going to have a little bit of fun with this, too. We're also going to be discussing some other terms that you might have heard but never really seen how you can leverage in an OSINT investigation. Things like XHRs, JavaScript, JSON. I'm going to break it down for you so that we dive in a little bit slowly, and by the end of it, we'll be analyzing the TikTok social media platform live. Cool? All right. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get on TikTok. There's some other things here which we may not get into depending on how much fun we have, but that's OK because there's already videos of all of this stuff on the OSINT Curious website. The reality is that the information that we are going to see today, we as penetration testers, we as security auditors have been using it to break through your networks for years, break into web applications. We've been finding these little tips, little bits of information, these vulnerabilities of information disclosure, and we exploit them in some form or fashion. Now in this room, we probably have OSINTers, we have social engineers trying to piece things together, trying to find unrelated websites, or trying to find details about some person that's posted something on some web page. I'm going to show you how we can use these same tools for that. These tools and these techniques I'm going to show you today also are going to help you with your documentation, because if you have some dude's random dude's profile like this Ginsberg dude, and you have to collect the information on that to record it for some case that you have, you've got a heck of a lot of things that you need to record. All of those arrows will just point to one bit of information that you're going to have to document. Yeah, sure, you can use a tool like Hunchly to record it all en masse. But the reality is, for a report, you're probably going to need to extract that information. And maybe, as some other people today mentioned, pivot on that. Do some additional searches. What I'm going to show you makes this absolutely simple to do. Moreover, when you start using these techniques, you will literally be able to boldly go where no one yeah, I told you there were going to be bad jokes. But seriously, the information that you're going to see in the page has been in your browser the whole time. You just haven't seen it. So let me help reveal the matrix to you. We're going to be looking at HTML source code here. We're going to be analyzing Google Analytics trackers and other ad trackers. We're going to dive into a little bit of APIs, not coding or anything. XHRs, JSON, unlinked web files, oh my. I'd like to pause and bow our heads for just a moment. Pray to the demo gods that this works. If you do want to take a picture, this is one of those times that I highly encourage you to take a picture. This is all the links you need. The OSINT Curious web project is a great place for you to get free information about different OSINT techniques. We have 10-minute tips. That's where the links to all of the videos for what I'm going to show you are. Also, my webreacher.com has a new blog post which has everything. And of course, the SANS class that I teach. Got it? All right, let's get into it. Cool. So we're going to start off. This is OSINT Curious. Here's the 10-minute tips. Nice. WebReacher. Here's the Layer 8 conference thing, just so you have that. Let's talk about source code. Okay? This is HTML source code that comes back from the server. And yes, a lot of you have already been digging in here. Bear with me. Bear with me. There are Easter eggs out there in the world. Things that you've been missing your entire time until you start looking for it. Let's go ahead and just right-click on the page and view page source. Check that out. We've got a little ASCII art in the page, right? Isn't that cool? Somebody took the time to make ASCII art and put it in the page so that inquiring minds like ours could find it. It also says, do you like building great stuff? Check out our job postings. Cool. So if you're inquisitive, if you're looking for this stuff, and you happen to be looking at this website's source code, you get more information, and maybe you can get a job. Cool. Well, there's other sites out there like Keybase. Yeah, I love Keybase as an OSINTer. It is fabulous. But let's just look at the source code. Now, Keybase's source code, I'll embiggen it for us. It actually talks about information about how the site works a little bit. Now, this is not stuff that's going to show up in your web browser rendered content. This is secret, hidden stuff that's been there the whole time. You just have to take the time to look at it. All right, so what? There's no real OSINT in here. Let's take a look at a different site, like Flickr. The door's locked. Still locked. So Flickr also has some ASCII art there. Flickr with a little logo. Isn't that cool? Now, what I want to do is I want to introduce the OSINT angle to this. You can look at the source code. Well, check this out. You see where it says, you're reading, we're hiring? Let's take a look at this and think about this from a psychology perspective, right? Because if Flickr has multiple websites on the internet, they might be running the same content in each of those sites. If we can somehow go to a place that will allow us to search the source code, then we can find those other sites that are kind of related to this one. Let's do it. We're going to use a tool called census.io. Dun, dun, dun. All right, I'm just going to copy that string, go to our tool, census.io. Now, census.io constantly scans the internet and allows us access to the source code and the content that's in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paste the "you're reading, we're hiring." I'll make it bigger for you guys in the back. "You're reading, we're hiring" in there. I'm going to delete this little period here because I want that string maybe without the period. One of the things that I teach in my classes is you always have to understand how sites work and how tools work so that when you get weird results, you understand why you got them. Census.io by default searches IP addresses with that string. I want websites with that string. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller here. You see where this is IPv4 addresses? Let's change it to websites. Once I do that, you'll see in the middle of the page, oh, hang on. Nice. Hang on. Yeah, 5,000. Yeah, what the hell? Hang on. Let's put that period back in. Still 5,000. Good demo, Micah. All right. Well, there, Pornhub, nice. Oh, you know what I forgot? Who can spot it? What did I forget? Quotes. There we go. Yeah, let's watch Pornhub disappear. Good demo, Micah. So here we have, I'll make it bigger. All right. So we see domains, flickr.com, that's where we got that string from. We expect it to be in the results. We also have ripple.com, permission.io, flickr.net, another Flickr site, Flickr Pro, and this other eCompleto. So these sites are not necessarily related to Flickr, but they all have that same string in it. Interesting. Our next step would be to investigate. So let's pull one of these up. Let's go to permission.io, all right? Permission.io. All right, so we pull up the site. Here we've got a page. It's grant permission to marketers. Yay. Let's go ahead and view the page source. And we're going to embiggen this, and we will search for if you're reading, we're hiring. Little different wording of that might not be related, but these are the things that we do. We find stuff, we get results, we then check it out to see if it's false positive or not. The other cool thing that we can find in HTML comments is features and functions that are commented out that no longer work and don't have any features in the web page, but you can still gain access to them. Permission.io, check this out. Let's scroll down a little. You're using an updated browser, okay. You see this part here? We have an angle bracket, bang, dash, dash, all the way down to this one right down here. What they've done is they've commented out this section of code so that it does not do anything in the rendered part of the web page. So you look in the site, you're like, oh, I don't see anything. But you look at the source code, we get information about either new features that they're pre-positioning out there, and then they will uncomment that content to reveal it when the feature goes live, or they've disabled that feature and they don't want you to know about it. Either way, in OSINT, I want to know about that stuff. Check it out. So this is a link to forum, hang on, click off, forum.permission.io. If we go back to the main page here, this is permission.io. If we search for the word forum, no link. There's no link on the main page to that unless you look in the source code. Now check this out. If we go to forums.io, we've got a whole nother site. And we learned about that from looking at the source code. All right? Do you have to do this all the time? Absolutely not. But if you don't look here, you might be missing stuff in the source code. Cool? All right. Let's go to a different place. Still working in the source code, let's look at a website here. We're going to look at GeneralElectric.com. Now, it could be any site out there. I picked General Electric just because it was a short URL, and I just wanted the short URL. Now, when General Electric or any company wants to check how many people are visiting their site, what they do is they go over to a company like Google, and they say, hey, I want to get an analytics code. I want to get a code that I can embed into each of my web pages, and then I will have the users that visit those pages send a request to you saying, I'm on that page. You track it, and then I can go to my dashboard and pull up that information. That's how analytics work. That's how trackers work. So Google, GED.com, they go ahead and send this tracker. Let's see how these trackers work. We're going to go ahead and view page source again. I'm going to embiggen this, find UA dash. Now, there's this UA code, make it bigger. UA dash. You see this UA code right here with a dash 102.21857-9. When a company registers with Google for an analytics code, what they do is they get a base number like this, 102.21857. Then for every domain that they want to put that on, they get a -1, -2, -3, -4. So just by looking at this number, we know that there's how many other domains out there that have this? 8, yeah. Unless we start at 0, right? And then we have 9, right? Because 0 did. But anyway, we know that there's other ones out there. So again, all we need to do is search for that root of an analytics code. And that will tell us other websites that are either made by this developer, managed by some company that also manages this site, or there's some kind of relationship between these things. Now, one of the things we talk about in OSINT all the time is never trust a single resource. If there's a favorite web page that you have, cool, use it. But also check other ones. I'll show you why. We're going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to go back to Census here, and I'm going to, okay, well, I happen to already have pulled that up. You ever like watch baking shows and they're like, now we're going to put this in the oven. Oh, and we'll take one out of the oven. And that's what I just did here. So here we have two sites that both have that UA code in their source code, right? GE.com, that's where we got it from, and GEcompany.com. Maybe there's a relationship between those two companies, okay? But is that all of the companies that GE has? Didn't we say earlier that there were at least 8 other ones? We're missing that here because this is either incomplete data or they weren't able to pull it out. So let's go to a different place. Let's go to a place called Spy on Web. Spyonweb.com, we visit the website, and we go ahead and paste in the user analytics code, the Google code, and it tells us these sites. Hey, gereports.tumblr.com could be a valid GE site. Bright Idea, GE Reports, Healthy Imagination. But here, we've only got 7 domains. Still incomplete in my book. I'm going to keep looking. But you see that using the same type of technique on 2 different sites gets you different results. Because it depends on how they index stuff, how they retrieve stuff. But wait, there's more. There's a wonderful website that goes out to the internet and scans all of the different sites that are out there that are most popular. And what it does is it will then allow you to see relationships between other sites based upon tracker and who else has used that IP address that the domain's hosted on. Check this out. This is called Built With, and it is absolutely a free site. You can create a free account on there to get more searches. I've done a search for GE.com on Built With. And over here, I'm going to make this bigger. See, we have these tag history. I'm going to make it a little smaller. See these tag history over here? Not only will it do, I'm going to make it a little smaller so you can see that. Not only does it show us that UA code, that Google Analytics code, but there were other trackers in that page that we missed, that we didn't pull out. Just focusing on the Google ones, ignored the Facebook trackers and the other trackers that were on there that also can show us relationships between this domain, this website, and other ones out there. I'll give you a hint. You can do this with a website like Match.com and find some really interesting other domains like love.jp.com or love.aol.jp and stuff that are somehow related to Match.com, but you would never probably put those 2 domains together. And because that same person or same company is putting that UA code in all of the different domains that they own, we can tie their domains together using this technique. But wait, there's more. Yeah. Not only does it tell you that that tracker's on the page, it'll tell you when it saw it. You see on the right-hand side of the page how it's lit up these other domains? Those other domains had this tracker, and those other domains had this tracker. And as you scroll down the page, we get these tag relationships. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can get the full perspective here. This is GE.com, and here's all the trackers and stuff, and the date. These are dates. When those UA codes were found, or when other trackers were found. Now check this out. We've got Eco-Imagination and GE Works, GE Citizenship, Challenge, blah, blah, blah. And we have the dates when those UA codes were found on that site. So right now, there might not be 8 other sites with that UA code, but in the past, it was used on other ones. Built With, if it scanned the sites that you're interested in, can help you make that tie-in. Cool. You can also download all this information for free. So, dig out those UA codes. Search on those. Yay. Let's take a look at something else. Let's go ahead and pivot to APIs. Now, APIs are fun. Any developers out there? People that are used to dealing with writing code or apps? Yeah, when you use your mobile applications on your phone, they don't go out to Facebook and request all of the images and the nice CSS and the fancy fonts and stuff and then download all that. That's inefficient. What they do is they make special calls to special places over on Facebook, and they say, hey, I'm the app. Just give me the data. I know how to display it. I know how to display that Micah's picture or the fact that he checked in. And they use a special place over there called an application programming interface, an API. The data is actually transferred in a little bit of a different fashion too. It's not normal human readable stuff necessarily. It's in a format called JavaScript Object Notation, or JSON. Let's take a look how this looks. Because you know what? When you use APIs, you get additional stuff. Here's a web page. This is Open Corporates. If you do research on businesses, you've probably been here. We have certain information here, like, I'll zoom in. We get the name of the company. We have a company number, where it's registered here in Germany, controlling company, the directors and officers and when they were in and when they left. All right. Now, at the bottom of the page here, there is an API reference. It's all the way at the bottom over there in the corner. Look for that stuff. When you see API, when you see developers, go to those places and just see how you can access the data. Because sometimes it's as simple as just clicking a link or going ahead and changing the URL. In this case, clicking a link would get you exactly what we want too. You see where over here it says API, open data, get this information as JSON? Check this out. We click that. The URL has now changed to api.opencorporates. And now we have some of that same information and more. If you're doing your recording, if you were trying to scrape this content out to use in some investigation, this format is so much easier to parse with human eyes and with computer than what we see on the screen. Because the screen is really meant for humans. This is meant for both audiences. So check this out. Blah, blah, blah. We saw this, name. We saw a company number, jurisdiction code. DE is for what country? Germany, you got it. You see all these nulls? Yeah, these are things that won't show up in the main part of the page because they're empty. But you can see that they're actually holding that data. And then check this out. Created at, updated at, retrieved at. These are dates and times when this record was created. That was not on the other page, but yet it's in the API. You get secret stuff. Now, the cool thing about this is that we can pull this out. Now, I am cheating a little bit. Has anybody ever gone and tried to look at JSON in Google Chrome? Yeah, it looks kind of like this. I'll tell you. Then I'm going to turn this off. Extensions. I've got this little cheater extension called Json Viewer, because check it out what happens if you just look at JSON without it. See, and some of you probably have seen this kind of stuff in web pages, and you're like, I have no idea what that looks like. If you see curly braces, all right, the squiggly line, those curly braces, I don't know what to call them, the shift angle square brackets, if you see that, think JSON. JSON can be prettified or beautified using plugins like the one I had here, Json Viewer, or in Firefox, it's prettified by default. All right? Okay, you get this. Well, let me show you a different example. Anybody use Gravatar here? Gravatar, the globally recognized avatar. Yeah, this person, Theodore, we don't have his last name. His first name's Theodore, and he's uploaded this picture. This picture can then be referenced from a whole bunch of different sites. So instead of Theodore uploading that picture to Twitter, and then uploading it to Facebook, and then uploading it to his website, what he can do is upload it to Gravatar and say, hey, Facebook, look over there. Twitter, look right up there. And he centralizes that. Makes things really easy to do. All right. So here we have certain pieces of information that are of interest to us for OSINT. We've got an image. We can right-click on that and reverse image search. We've got this other information, like a little bio over here, existentialist. We've got his name, first name. Whoop, sorry, clicked on that. We also up here have a nickname, Fyodor. All right, we take a look at that too. Does anybody see the word JSON in the middle of the page over here? Yeah. Being OSINT curious is about clicking shit. Yeah, you know how we tell our users don't click shit because it's going to protect you? Well, we protect our browsers and our systems such that we can click shit. And when we do, check out what happens. We get JSON. Oh boy, it's in a weird format, but you can understand how it looks. Look at this. We get an ID, a unique identifier for this record. If you're in law enforcement, this is awesome. That hash right there, because I understand how Gravatar works, that hash is a MD5 hash of Fyodor's or Theodore's email address that he signed up for this service with. So if I were to go ahead and guess, are you at fyodor@gmail.com, I could make an MD5 hash of that and go, hey, this hash matches that hash. Now I got his email address. You see how this goes? But wait, there's more. By the end of this, I want some there's more. All right, as we scroll down, we've got more information here. Preferred username, Fyodor, yada, yada, yada. And here we have an interesting section. I don't know if you can read this in the back, but remember how his name is Theodore? Check out what his given, family, and formatted name are. That is not displayed in the rendered page view. But if you just click the JSON, which is one more step, you get more stuff. Be inquisitive. Click on shit. This is the fun part of OSINT. At least for me it is. Cool? Yeah. All right, cool. APIs. Now, there's a whole bunch more with APIs that we could get to, but that's way beyond the scope of just what's in my browser and how I can get access to it easier. Let's check out some fun stuff. My buddy technazet.com. She runs this great OSINT resource. It's a start.me page. And what it does is it has a whole bunch of links to different OSINT resources. Many of you are probably familiar with OSINTframework.com, Justin Nordine's awesome project. Well, Technazet has one little different format. Now, you know what? When I was first looking at this, I'm like, hey, I kind of want to scrape all these links. You know, I want to put them on my special site, maybe inside of the firewall, and I want to take what she's done and kind of make it my own. I mean, not publish it my own, not steal her data, but I want to harvest it. So I want links to all of her stuff in there. Or let's just say I just want to look at some of this. Let's just take a look. So if I right-click on this page and view page source, I should be able to see any of this content. That's what we saw with Flickr and stuff, right? So if I have select a category at the top, we'll just take that. I'm going to go ahead and right-click on the page, view page source. There's the page source, find, and paste. It's not on the page source. But yet it's on the page. I saw it on the page. You saw it on the page. The way that this works is by understanding how websites work nowadays. It used to be, when I was a kid, that we had a static web page, you loaded the page, all your content came up, and you were happy with it. But nowadays, there's all these advanced things with your browser making these requests off to servers behind the scenes to continually load data into your browser without you requesting it. These are called XML Http Requests, or XHRs. Let's see them in action. So this is the website. I'm going to go ahead and dive into the web developer tools. Have you all used these web developer tools? All right, some nods. Some people have no idea what I'm talking about. Cool. Go to the little snowman over here, the triple dots, more tools, developer tools. That brings up a little control panel at the bottom of the screen. Now I'm going to, let's see, magnify. So at the bottom of the screen here, we have this wonderful console. Yours might be on the right-hand side of the screen. It might be on other sides. It might look a little different in Firefox. But essentially what we have is different functions that we can do to the source code of the page. Some of these are pretty advanced. Let's focus on network. By clicking on the network tab, we can go ahead and see all of the requests that are being made from this web page. So if I reload the page, here's all the different calls that my browser is making. All right? Whoop. Yeah, do you see them down here? Oh, it doesn't show up very well, does it? All right, well, let's unmagnify it. There we go. All right, so all of these calls down here are ones where my browser has made them. Some of these are for images. Some of these are for JSON and other stuff. And again, there's a video of this already on OSINT Curious, so stick with me. Over here in the middle, I can filter out the content and just show XHRs, those XML Http requests. Those are things that my browser has made requests for to help load content in the page. Let's take a look. One of these is called M6XQ08, which matches this value up here, and it ends in a .json file, or .json file name. When I pull that up in the browser, check this out. I get a timestamp for the page, which we didn't have in the rendered view. We have a specific page ID. We have the title and description. Let's go ahead and see if we can search for that, that thing. Find there. There it is. So that's the content that shows up in the screen. So this content here is JSON formatted. It's name and value pairs. You see, ID colon that, and there's curly braces. And it is kind of human readable if you bother to look. So all I've done is I've said, hey, let's reload this web page. Let's look at how our browser is getting that data and kind of decoding that, kind of reverse engineering that, seeing what's happening in my browser, and then pulling up that in a web page. But wait. Thank you, sir. Thank you. There is more. How did you know? There's other pieces of data that we get in this page. For instance, if we search for Technizet, we get her owner name. We get the email that she used to log in to the site with. Now, that's not a big deal in this case, and I talked to Technizet before doing this talk because she actually has her email address in the page right here, technizet.com. She wants technizet@protonmail.com. She wants you to reach out with other stuff. But for other people that maybe just signed up for a start.me page, if you look at the JSON that's loading stuff in their browser, you'll get their actual email account just by being curious. Cool, right? I think it's cool. So let's go ahead and take an example here. Let's take what we've learned here. We've learned a little bit about JSON. We've learned about these special requests called XHRs that are made in our browser. Let's go to TikTok. All right? Now, TikTok, for any of you that aren't under 20, TikTok is a short video website. Okay, under 30. TikTok is one of those websites that you can go to. You have an app on your phone, and you take a 10-second, 20-second video, you post it up on the site, and then you can share it with your friends and stuff, and do all those other crazy things that kids do. Yes, it's much more complicated than that. I get it. I oversimplified. Oh, this is the person that's feeding homeless people. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is use these same techniques, but use them to grab information from somebody's profile. This is real-world OSINT, right? And I have not rehearsed this with these people. Let's just pick somebody that is trending. Okay, you're reading my mind without saying anything. Great. So this is a person this is a post. Let's go to his profile. Here we've got that. All right. Yeah. Oh, come on. Stop. Pointing and clicking is hard. There we go. Okay, we have his profile page. Now, remember how I told you that there's stuff in the source code of the page that doesn't get shown on the big page here? Check this out. How many fans does this person have? 1.3 million, 9.6 million hearts, right? What if we could pull the actual number out of the source code? Let's check it out. Let's right-click, View Page Source. Oh, that looks challenging, right? That would be intimidating to many people. Let me give you a little tip. All the juicy stuff is in a place, and again, this is in the blog and in the URL in the video. If you type init_props, you get this JSON section. Let me make it bigger. Init props. Here's a curly brace. All you have to do is take all this stuff here, and we go down and look for that end curly brace. Keep going. There we go. See that script there? I know from experience that's the end. and we copy it. Now that's really ugly JSON. We can't just paste that in a web browser. So what we need to do is find a translator tool. There's an amazing translator tool called CyberChef. Anybody dealt with CyberChef? Yeah, this is awesome. Okay, so CyberChef. We're going to go to the website. Actually, TikTok, CyberChef. CyberChef is a free tool that's put out by GCHQ, the Brits. And what it does is it extracts data, it transforms data. So you need something base64 encoded or decoded. You want to extract email addresses from a huge section of text. You just paste the text in the input. You go over to the left-hand side of the screen. You pull out email, put it into the recipe. You make yourself a recipe. And in the output here, we get the cool content. Let's see how this works. I'm going to paste my JSON right in there. On the other side here, JSON Beautify. And now, through the magic of CyberChef, we have well-formatted JSON over here. And if we scroll down and down and down and down and down and down and down, we get, this is going to look weird because of the embiggening, but that's all right. All right, here, let's just do this. I'll copy Notepad. Let's see if this works. It does. Cool. All right, we're going to find user. No, of course you can't find user. Hang on. All right, right here we have user data. Make this a little bit bigger. Now, one of the first things we need for identification of people is their unique identifier on the site. We have a long number right after his user ID, and we have right after the user ID parameter. This user ID parameter correlates very closely to the user ID parameter up here on the URL, right? Okay, cool. Let's just see what else is here. We have the unique ID and nickname, signature. Remember that 1.3 million fans? It's actually 1,288,056 fans and 9,571,064 hearts. Does that matter? Maybe. But you get access to it with just a web browser by understanding the web, by understanding how the target works, how the website works. We can pull this stuff out. Now, yeah, sure, you pull out information about his user account, but sometimes you want that information from a post. Maybe somebody has made a rude post or some inflammatory post. You want to get information, and maybe for your legal whatever that you have to do, you need to grab all of the comments that have ever been posted against that post. Let's check it out. Nope, can't close that. All right, we're going to leave our CyberChef up. And we're going to go to one of his posts. Yeah, that one looks good. All right. He's going to read my mind by doing stuff. Cool. So this is his post. We see a video by him. And if we scroll down, we see these comments. All right. See where it says, be honest. Was it? Let's just copy that. Now, we should be able to right-click on the page and look in the page source, right? I mean, it's in the page. Let's go ahead and right-click, view page source. And guess what? When we do a find for that, it's not found. Remember that XHR stuff? Let's see how that comes into play on one of these real live websites. All right? So let's go ahead and we're going to load the developer tools. Going to network tab, XHR, and let's reload this page. What will happen is you see a bunch of these XHRs here. Now I know it's really small, but bear with me. One of these says count, and one of these says type. We're going to take a look at the type one, and I'm going to go ahead and just copy this content, paste it in my CyberChef, boom, and then here is the content out of it. Right? JSON Beautify. What's that? What's that? Oh, well, it's on. Right, auto-bake is not on. Thank you. Wi-Fi check. All right. Oh, hit bake. Thank you. This is my first time computering, so. All right. So up here at the top, we have information about the thing. And here it says, my dad plays professional poker and my mom a professional dealer. The create time of the video is up here. Let's take a look at this. So I'm going to copy all of that, paste it into Notepad. all paste. There we go. All the way up at the top. All right, so here's the information. This is the item information from this post. Here we have a create time of 1:55:402:4973, an author ID, music ID. These are the places where the video music comes from. Okay. What is this number, this create time? That doesn't look like June the 6th. It's epoch time. Well, for those of you that don't speak geek, let's take a look at how we convert that. Because guess what? When you paste it into CyberChef, and then over here you type in Unix, from Unix timestamp, we now get March 31st at 9:36 and 13 seconds. These types of things are in the page content, and we can pull that stuff out. All right, so here we have some information, but this is not, these are just people that are posting content on the page. If you look over here, this is not the comments that we need. Be honest, and we can actually click over here and copy that. Let's see if this is in here. Nope. So we picked the wrong XHR. It's all right. Let's go ahead and refresh the screen and pull the other one. Oh, Mike, I think something happened with the network. No. All right. Oh, there it is. Thank you. You're awesome, dude. Interneting from the back of the room. All right, let's take the one that says count. We're going to copy this. Copy. Go over here. You get what we're going to do. We're going to change this to JSON. JSON beautify. Paste this in and bake. Take this, all copy. When we paste that into Notepad, we get this. Oh my God, was yellow. Everyone's reading my mind. See that? Be honest. Was it hit or miss? There's the comments. Now each one of these is one of the comments. But wait, there's more. Because not only do we get the timestamp and who did it, we also get their nickname, the content, in an easily retrieved format. And we get other information. Remember, if you ever tried to do OSINT, have you ever tried to do OSINT and do like reverse image searches? And you're like, oh, I want to take, hang on, this person's profile picture right here. Sean DM. I want to do a reverse image search on that profile picture. If you do a reverse image search on that profile picture, what are the search engines going to tell you? It's too tiny. Yeah, poor resolution. But in the page source, it tells me that there's other versions of that. Like you see this, let's see, this is, be honest, hit or miss. You see, let's see, over here. Each one of these gives me a different resolution of that picture. So copying this, cover's larger, copy. I get a bigger picture. Just by looking at the JSON and what's happening. So we found content, we looked at the XHR, we found that XHR was transferring JSON, we kind of looked at it, we converted or we decoded that JSON using CyberChef, a free tool that's out there that extracts information and more, and then we went ahead and pulled up this image. Cool. I think it's cool. Let me show you one more cool thing. I think it's cool. Anybody know about robots.txt files? Yeah, robots.txt files are awesome. So, when Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, Yandex, whatever search engine goes out and scans the internet, they grab all of the information from each site, right? They look at the page and they spider it down and they crawl into each of the different subdirectories and subdirectories, and they grab all that and then they make it easily searchable by you, right? Kinda. Because if I'm a web admin, if I'm a server admin, I can say, hey, Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, don't go in these directories. You are disallowed from scanning or spidering in those directories. Maybe there's sensitive stuff in there I don't want you to index and people to Google. Maybe there's admin pages or other stuff in there. The robots.txt file or robots.txt file is at the root level of most domains. And you can pull it up. If you know about it, it's in text. Now, this is one on Amazon.com. You might have heard of that site. There's another one here on a government website. This is gov.uk. This has actual comments as to why there are sites and bots in here. We can either say all bots don't go in there or a specific bot don't go in there. All right, big deal. What these places allow us to do is find unrelated content that is not going to appear in the search engine. If you searched using deep crawl, you would not get any of the links, any of the content from this site, because deep crawl has not been allowed to go in there. This is from AuthorStream. Now, there are some bad words farther down, but we're all adults here, right? And high school students. We're all moving towards adulthood. We know what a word penis is, all right? But check this out. So if I host a website, a social media site, and people can post whatever they want in pages and stuff like that, but I don't want my site to be known to have penis stuff on it, I can put disallow, you cannot index anything with the word penis in it. Interesting. You go to do your Googles, your DuckDuckGos, your Bings, you're not going to find this stuff. You have to visit the site itself. But wait. Yes, there is more. Thank you. Yes. So here we have a beta catalog. You're Googling this codecademy.com site, and you're like, all right, well, let's see what's out there. You spider it, and you don't find anything good. You come here, and you get the beta catalog. You know what the beta catalog is? Yeah, you kind of guessed it, right? It's stuff that's coming down the pike. It's upcoming courses that you will not find in Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, or Yandex, because it's stuff that's going to be put down the pike. So you get new stuff that hasn't been released yet. But wait, there's more. Even Google has these. Look at this. Even Google's like, listen, DuckDuckGo, Bing, please don't index these places. That's kind of neat. And here we go. This is a fun one. When I was doing research for this, I was like, cool, let's take a look. This is codementor.io. Is Roman Kazak in this room? OK, cool. Let's talk about him. Because he did something to piss off the owner of this site. If I'm on this CodeMentor site, Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, Yandex is going to index my profile. It'll go up into their search engines. But Roman did something that pissed off some admin, or maybe posted some stuff that they didn't want associated with it, and they blocked Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, and Yandex and other search engines from actually indexing his stuff. So if you were to Google somebody like Normal's profile on there, like Ricardo Murillo, you mouse over this, you go to, the first result is his profile page. Yes, I'll click on anything. The first thing is his profile page, right? But if we do that same query with Roman Kazak, it's not there. That profile page is not there because the admin of the site said, Roman, you effed up, buddy. You're not getting into the search results. Again, the only way you know this is looking in robots.txt or manually visiting that site. Because Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, Yandex don't have everything. There's stuff missing. Oh, that was an important thing. Even if you know the exact URL to his profile and put that in, yeah, Google knows about that page, but it doesn't have the content because the site owner said, don't index it. Nice, right? Then there's like fun ones here. Again, thinking about, oh, too big. Thinking about how site owner can customize who has their content. Let's say that I really like Microsoft products, and I love Bing. I want Bing to have access and index everything on my site. But Google, psh, nah. I can put in this robots.txt file, Googlebot, disallowed. Bing, allowed. That's why we use multiple search engines, multiple sites to confirm and corroborate data. Here we have user agent, everything is disallowed from these places. But if we look here, Googlebot is disallowed from these directories. Now, yeah, there's some overlap, of course. But if we search farther down the page, Yandex bot, you're not allowed in certain directories. Now, could some of these be allowed to one bot and not to another? Yes. And that's why with OSINT, what we do is we validate, verify, and corroborate information using multiple sources. Are you not entertained? All right. I'm entertained. All right. Lastly, this is the OSINT Courier's website. I have 10-minute tips out there. These 10-minute tips right here that say Layer 8 Conference, they're all already on YouTube. They are waiting for you to download them or other people to look at them. We have a bunch of 10-minute tips out there. The idea is in 10 minutes we can teach you something that you might not know about OSINT. 100% free. Take what you like. And that is my time. Thank you. Oh, I do have, if you want OSINT Curious stickers that look like this little one right here, I will have them and I'll meet you out there so that the next presenter can come up here. All right? Thanks.